Hello everybody, good morning. It's Holly here from the iGo Yoga Studio, and today I want to welcome you to this little snippet of a guided meditation practice that we currently have on this morning. Now, today we're going to be discussing how to help clear your mind of the busy thoughts and the busy chatter that pretty much most of us are faced with on a daily basis. So we do have a Facebook Live on our iGo Yoga page, so we're going to give you a little snippet today of what this practice is about. And for those of you that are on our live Zoom, for those of you that are on our private Facebook page, you'll be staying with me for the duration of the practice. So today, I'm really excited because, you know, we don't just talk about the knowledge, we don't just share value, we know that's important, but we also like to give you practical tools and have a practical experience of meditation, so therefore you're able to integrate it into your everyday life. We at iGo Yoga understand that knowledge is for the brain and experience is for the body. So today we're going to be starting with a discussion on the topic of how to clear your mind of the many busy thoughts, the busy chatter that you experience. And then we're going to say bye-bye to you guys on Facebook, and for the rest of us we're going to go into a breathing technique, some pranayama, breath control, and we're also going to be practicing some mantra, beautiful, wonderful sound mantra to help to increase our vibration. And really what those do, they are tools that enable us to prep the body and mind before we go into our guided meditation practice. And then of course, once we've completed our mantra, we will just gradually and beautifully blend into the practice today, which I will lead the first part, and then I'll leave you guys to enjoy and flow with whatever the wonderful experience of meditation wants to give to you today. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, welcome, good morning to you. Maybe you're watching the recording back, and maybe, you think, I want to get involved in this. Well, if you do, then just head over to igo-yoga.com/online, and you'll be able to access our full timetable, yoga and meditation on there. So, who's today's practice for then? Well, it's for you if you feel like you are overwhelmed and quite often swept away by your thoughts, and you find it quite difficult to switch off. I think that's for most of us. If this is for you, if you are starting to feel fearful and worried, and now that is now being manifested in the body in the form of anxiety, and it's affecting your day-to-day activities. Maybe your work is being affected. Maybe it's affecting your health. Maybe it's affecting the relationships that you have with others. Or maybe, like myself sometimes, you're finding it difficult because you're so plagued with these many thoughts. You're finding it difficult to be present in the moment. And because you're not able to be present in the moment, you cannot really embrace and enjoy what is going on around you. Maybe, you feel like you can't be present with your children when all they want to do is play. Maybe you can't seem to concentrate and focus on whatever task you have at hand. I know I've certainly been there with that. And maybe you always feel like, you might be in one place, but your head's elsewhere. So today's practice is really going to help you to be able to calm and steady the stream of thoughts that is constantly flowing to you. Now, let's face it, I'm not going to teach you to stop these thoughts. I'm going to teach you that we simply need to become aware of them and simply observe them. Because if you are not thinking, then you're probably dead. You probably haven't got a heartbeat either. So let's be grateful that we have all of these wonderful thoughts, reminding us that we are alive and we are well. Today's practice is also going to help you to really move out of the thinking, move beyond the thinking, and move into being, and being is really being fully aware and conscious of the present moment, and that really is the only moment that exists. And it's also going to help you to really increase your potential and reclaim that peace, that inner peace, which is rightfully yours. That's going to help you to increase your well-being. That's going to help you to increase your health, your wealth, your prosperity, your relationships, and every area of your life. Yes, all of those areas. So just a reminder that if you are watching this live or you're watching the recording, you think, I want to be a part of this group, I want to be a part of this mastermind, what you have going on here, then just simply head over to igo-yoga.com/online and you'll be able to see our full timetable on there. But before we get into anything, before we get into the practical exercises, guys, I want to just take a moment here for us to just gain a little more clarity. Now, have any of you ever found yourself feeling like you really need some headspace in your life? Do you feel like sometimes you just want to escape the world? You want to get in your car and just drive somewhere, anywhere, to have a moment to yourself? Do you ever feel like you're desperate for that? I know I certainly do. And, this may be because that we have increasing demands at work, or especially if you're feeling like you're stuck at home, or maybe you're working from home at the moment and you have children, young children, I know I do, and they're constantly running around at your feet. Sometimes you can feel like you're really climbing the walls, whether that be your children or even your spouse. So it is actually very important for us to be able to recognize that, we might be able to escape for an hour or two. We might get a day to ourselves. We might even be able to go on a holiday or a weekend and, be alone. But one thing that we will quickly come to realize is that it is not the environment that we necessarily need to change. It's not our outer environment that we need space in, as much as sometimes that is important for us to be able to take the time to think. It is not the be all and end all. What is most important is recognizing that when you are alone, quite often we're still very much overwhelmed or restricted by what's going on in our inner world. And that's because quite often we fall victim to the turbulent thoughts and ideas and emotions that are constantly playing themselves out in our mind. So we tell ourselves a lie every day. We tell, I need space from my partner, I need space from my kids, I need to get out of this house, when actually all we need to do is to remember that we need sometimes space from ourselves, okay? And so, yes, our outer environment is important. If we can create peace there, great. But it's not always in our control. The only thing that is in our control is our inner state of being. So, it has been said by many scientists, many professionals, researchers out there, that we think around about 68,000 thoughts a day. Oh my goodness, that is so many thoughts. No wonder so many of us are feeling massively overwhelmed right now. And so we're doing all of this thinking. We are literally thinking all of the time. But while we are thinking, we're time travelers. We're thinking about the past. So we project ourselves off into the distant past. You can go into yesterday. Maybe some of us can go back to when we were a child, back to some of the childhood memories. Some good, some not so good, Some make you laugh and some, quite frankly, make you cry, So we're either off into the past, or if we're not there, we're thinking off into the future. We're thinking about what we're going to do today, what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear, what life is going to look like when we all potentially go back to work after, COVID-19. We're all thinking and predicting and playing out, potential realities, potential outcomes that haven't even happened yet. Very interesting, isn't it? So while we're thinking, we're either off in the past or we're off into the future. But what we are doing while we're thinking is actually ignoring the present moment, okay? We're ignoring the present moment. And when we do that, we limit ourselves. We absolutely limit ourselves and restrict ourselves, from really confidently moving forward and getting the most out of life in every possible way. So it's kind of like, thinking about the past or thinking about the future is kind of like driving your car, knowing where you need to go, but spending your journey looking in the rear view mirror instead of looking right out in front of you on the road ahead. You're looking in the little mirror and you're looking behind you. I mean, you expect to go forward and not to crash. That's what many of us are doing. That's not being present in the moment. We know that if we do that, we're not going to get very far in life, are we? We're almost certainly going to crash. We're almost certainly going to, create some destruction in our lives. So we have this constant stream of thoughts. And, many of us just feel like we cannot switch off from them. And what they do, just like that little rear view mirror, they're distracting us away from where our focus really needs to go. And that causes us distraction. So what happens when we think about these thoughts, when we're constantly engaging in these thoughts? We cause a chemical reaction in the body. And that chemical reaction is how we feel. Those thoughts affect our feelings. If we're thinking negatively, we're going to start to feel negative. We're going to start to feel sadness, feel grief, feel worry, feel quite fearful. And then those feelings, what they do is they play out in automatic behaviors, especially when we're thinking about the same things over and over again. And some of these scientists have actually suggested that 90% of what we think about, we thought about the day before that, and a lot of us oldies, the decade before that. So our thoughts and our feelings create these automatic behaviors, and they're often driven by our fears and our insecurities. So we get lost in our busy mind, and in doing that, we're forgetting who we are. We're in the to-do list, and in our mind we're not appreciating what we've accomplished right here, right now, in this moment, but we're thinking about what's next, what's to come, thinking about what we haven't done, or if we're in the past, we're thinking about what we didn't do right. So we're never really fully appreciating the power of now. We're never really recognizing that it is in the now that the next moment is created. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope it's making sense to you. So I've got some thumbs up over there, thank you guys. So when we meditate, we have an opportunity to pause and reflect. To pause and reflect. How amazing is that? When we pause, everything stops. And that enables us to hold the present moment in our awareness, rather than being stuck in the past or off into the future. We recognize that the only moment that we have is right now, right here, right now. You sitting here listening to me is the only moment that we have. What a powerful place to be. So why would we want to go off anywhere else? And this is because our life is constantly unfolding, it's constantly evolving in the now. This is the only moment. I really want to get that point across to you. So when we sit and we meditate, when we consciously say, right now I'm going to do nothing. I have nowhere to be, nothing to have, nothing to do, nothing to say, nothing to think about. I'm just going to simply be. This enables us to really create just a wonderful appreciation of life. And instead of trying to find space in our outer world, we recognize that we have all of the space that we need within. We really do. And that spaciousness we can certainly create by anchoring to the breath, as a way for us to maintain our concentration, because let's face it, if we weren't thinking, we'd probably be dead. So, our mind is always going to be trying to go off here and there and everywhere. And what we can do is we can anchor our in the present moment to our breath and really create that spaciousness within and around us. And then, we're able to carry that wonderful feeling wherever we go throughout our day. So it is about turning our attention inward. It's not about turning the attention outward. And when we do that, we're able to consciously observe what we're thinking about most of the time. And this can be quite, revealing. It really will reveal your true character, because you will realize, oh my God, I was worrying about the same thing when I was a teenager. I was worrying about this 5 years ago, and I'm still worrying about it today. So it gives you a new awareness to recognize and become familiar with what you've been entertaining. Because remember, it is your thoughts that affect your feelings affect your actions, and your actions affect the results in your life. So stop trying to get outside of yourself and change what's around you, and instead turn that attention inward to change who you are. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. I really do. So when we start to become familiar with our thoughts, we can become familiar with our unconscious patterns that keep replaying out, and then that gives us an opportunity to be able to obviously acknowledge them, accept them, and surrender them. We can let go and not necessarily hold on to them any longer. And when we can let go, it's kind of like me letting go of this glass. I now have space to pick up something new. And when we get rid of what we have, we can fill that space, that void, with something much more enriching, something much more positive, much more loving, much more life enhancing, something that's going to give and bring you value and meaning, and something that's going to help you to feel fulfilled in your life. So I would always say, maybe you know exactly what that is, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is come back to the feeling of love, because love is truly the highest vibration that exists. Some people call it God. Love is God, yeah? And so you don't have to be religious, you don't have to have a particular belief or an idea to meditate. You just have to be willing to take time out to get some quiet time, to give yourself that space that you need. And so, yes, you'll find that many of the thoughts that you need are relevant, but are they relevant right now? Are they relevant right now? And for those that you find that are not relevant, you can consciously choose to surrender them and let them go. Definitely. So I hope that helps you. And that will really enable you to remove the real obstacles that are in your life, not the things in your environment, not the material things that you need to move or to gain, but the mental and emotional obstructions that are standing in the way of you stepping into your greatness. So, and that will help you to reclaim that inner sense of being and that peace that, is rightfully yours. You should be able to reclaim that. So I hope that's giving you some value today. Know that meditation, it's not just about sitting down once and your life's just going to, flip itself on its head and be amazing and beautiful and wonderful. Hopefully it will give you that perspective that life is, incredible, but it is going to require practice, it's going to require discipline, and it's going to require consistency. It is going to require consistency, and that over time, my friends, will enable you to calm and steady your busy mind and turn your attention from thinking and instead into being. So I hope that has helped you today. So now we're going to begin to prepare the mind and the body for our meditation practice by using some deep pranayama techniques. We're also going to be using the power of mantra as well, the power of sound, and letting that really increase our vibration. But I just want to let you guys on Facebook Live know that, thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to be a part of what we have going on here, just simply head over to igo-yoga.com/online and you can be a part of our next guided meditation practice. But otherwise, for those of you that are with me on Zoom, just please take the next moment or so to get into a comfortable seated position because we are about to begin. So guys, love and light for you all. If there's anything you guys need, any clarity that you need, please reach out. We will ensure to put the website address in the comment section below. But otherwise, have a bright and wonderful day and stay present in the moment because that is where the power is. Thank you. Bye-bye.